Eats. My name is Chef Yves Dechaine, and today we are in the Greener Villages Learning Kitchen with Haley Bungay with Junior Achievement New Brunswick. Thanks for joining us today, Haley.
Thank you for having me.
Right on. So, Haley, what do you do with Junior Achievement?
I'm actually the Vice President of Development and Communication, but I wear many hats with the organization, so it could be, every day is different. Today I'm here, which is super exciting to talk about JA and what we do. I could be working with students in the classroom, delivering programs. I could be talking to volunteers, doing fundraising. So kind of all kinds of different things that I get to do.
Cool. So today we're going to be making some crepes, chicken, mushroom, and spinach crepes. But before that, let's talk a little bit about Junior Achievement. It's super interesting. So tell us about it.
What our mandate is we talk to students in grades 3 to 12 about entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and work readiness skills. So getting those students ready to enter the real world or into the workforce for when they graduate from high school and going on to whatever post-secondary they want to do. So that's learning about personal budgeting and how to manage your money. If they want to open up their own business, we talk about that. Work readiness skills, how to do a job interview, how to introduce yourself, how to talk to people. All those really important skills that aren't necessarily taught in the classroom. JA comes in and we take care of that for the education
Well,
system.
that's fantastic. So it's kind of like is it like, say, the Scouts program or kind of like a cadet program, that type of thing aimed to kids like that?
A little bit. So we have for in-school programs that teachers can implement into their classroom with their students.
Okay.
So that's a big part of our program. The other part that we're probably most known for is our after-school program with high school students, where the students actually create their own business, and they will start and create a product and run it through to liquidation in about 20 weeks. So we're running a program right now up at Leo Hayes. We've got 3 teams that they've come up with 3 new products. They're going door-to-door selling, they're at the markets, they're learning all the things that they're going to need to know to start their own business with the safety net of JA should anything go wrong. Now, knock on wood, nothing. We haven't had to bail them out recently, so it's great. They're learning lots, they're selling lots. It's a really, really fun. I was there last night and I just get really excited about it.
Well, that's fantastic. And then having these young kids have, looking to be entrepreneurs and the next generation that's moving up.
That's exactly it.
And in this climate, it's important to have a good financial knowledge, right?
For sure.
And schools, again, even when I was going to schools, it was mathematics, but it was never about budgeting. It was never about balancing home finances and stuff like that. So
they don't teach you how to do the taxes. They don't teach you how to create a budget. So
you guys do that there?
We do that, yeah.
Okay.
So one of our more popular programs is the Economics for Success program. And that one, for me, I think is really great, and every grade 8 or grade 9 student in the province should be doing this program because it talks about planning for their future. What does your personal budget look like? What's going to happen when you move out from home? Who's going to, like the bank of mom and dad is probably going to close. We like to joke about that, and they've got to figure out, how are they going to pay for things? How much does it cost to make a meal? How much does it cost to get back and forth to work or school? So we get them to think about those things, and it's a little bit of a reality check for a lot of students.
You mentioned that you're working with Leo Hayes, but are there any other schools that you guys are partnered up with in the area?
So we're all across the province, in all 4 corners of the province. Our programs are offered in both official languages. So whether you want to do it in French or English, a mix of both, we can accommodate that. A bunch of different methods of delivery too. So if the students wanted to just go on their own, all they would need is a computer or a tablet and an internet connection.
Okay.
And they can go to jacampus.org and sign up for any of our programs. So if they're interested in learning about entrepreneurship, they're thinking they want to open their own business. If you're in elementary school, we have a great program called A Business of Our Own. And they take them through opening up their own little business, and we put them into it's a simulation, so they get to make all the decisions about opening a retail business.
Which is fantastic, and that's what caught my eye when I was reading all that literature, because I have a little entrepreneur at home, and I think it would be fantastic to kind of guide her through. So I think it's kind of kismet that we met this
Yes, I'm
today.
excited, and it's a really great program, and I love hearing about the little entrepreneurs that are up and coming.
Let's talk about some successes or some achievements that the junior achievers have. So do you have any examples of that?
I do. So we've got, like I said, we have 3 companies operating in Fredericton this year. One of the companies is they've come up with this product that it blew my mind, and I was so excited. So they've taken like cedar wood and cut grooves in it, and they've made a little soap dish. And then they've worked with a local company, Rustic Soap, to buy their ends. So that this person at Rustic Soap isn't wasting anything. She's able to sell her end pieces of soap to our JA kids.
Okay.
And they put that in their product. They have revenues of, they're coming up on $4,000 in revenues in about 2 months.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's wild. These kids, like, they never stop. They can't keep up with the orders. So I'm really excited about that one. And then we've got another team that's doing keychains that are really cool. And another company on the other side of them is doing like kind of a relaxation kit.
Okay.
So you can, it's like $10 and it's got bath bombs and bath salts and just kind of all that stuff you'd need to just chill.
Right on.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about the kids here. Have any of them gone from the Junior Achievement and then gone up and made this their full-time career?
Yeah,
full-time
we've got a lot, not necessarily with the product that they founded when they were in JA, but a really good example that a lot of people will know about is Go-Go Gymnastics. So Kara Angus is a former junior achiever, and she got her start with JA. Kara went on to university, entered a business plan competition, and she put in Go-Go Gymnastics. She ended up winning that competition, getting all this money to start her business, and here she is today, operating all across the province. That's a really great success story, but we've got lots. Blair and Rosalind Hislop from Mrs. Dunster's.
Okay, yeah.
They are former junior achievers. They actually met when they were in JA. So all kinds of really great ones and some famous ones too, because JA operates all around the world. Lots of great stories about JA.
This program, is there a cost to it? How does one sign up? How does one apply?
So that's the beauty of it. No student, school, teacher, parent, nobody pays for a student to participate in JA. We fundraise as an organization all year round. We have great partners like Rogers TV who support us. Our big fundraiser is the New Brunswick Business Hall of Fame. We host that each year.
Okay.
So that's a huge one for us. But we fundraise with different events throughout the year so that no student pays.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you were saying that it's online, in person and stuff like that. So let's talk about that. Well, with the pandemic and stuff like that, people were forced to go online. And how did that help, or did that hinder the junior achievements?
It was a little bit of both. It was kind of a shocking thing, right? I don't think it was kind of on our radar. We're like, okay, I think this thing might be a thing. And then March happens and the world ends and everything closes and students are at home. And we were like, oh my goodness, our business is on paper in the schools. So what are we going to do? So when that happened, we kind of took a little bit of time. We came together as a national organization, and a project that was 5 years down the road had to happen within 2 weeks. So we took all of our programs that were paper-based and got them online, so that students, regardless of if they were in the classroom, learning at home, or doing a bit of both, they were able to go online, check out our programs, and continue to do them. So that was a great thing that came out of the pandemic. Another one for us is that we got a nice partnership with the Department of Education. So they finally come on board. We love working with them. We work very closely with the department itself, but also with their Centers of Excellence for Entrepreneurship. And doing different things, doing site visits, taking students to see different businesses, different career opportunities for them. Because at the end of the day, what we want students to understand is they don't have to leave. They don't have to leave New Brunswick. They can stay here
that's it,
and have unbelievable opportunities, right? So there's so many great things happening in New Brunswick, and for us, we just want to show them all those great things that are happening.
So we'll be back to make some crepes right after these messages. Welcome back to Easy Eats. Again, we are in the Greener Villages Learning Kitchen with Haley Bungay from Junior Achievements. So we are going to be making a crepe, a really simple crepe. So when you make crepes, you can kind of stuff them with anything. Here at the Greener Village, I use whatever I find in my fridge. We don't go far, and then at home, it's whatever you have. So a lot of times it's using leftover stuff. So I had some mushrooms, some spinach, and a little bit of chicken left over from a class I did yesterday. So we're just going to put that all together and do that simply. So all we're going to do now is grab a couple of knobs of butter, just like this. And then we're just going to start melting that down, and then just add my mushrooms to start sauteing.
Okay. Just throw it right in there.
Throw it right in, and then we'll just kind of let these wilt and kind of drain all their water. And while we're doing that, we'll just start building or making the crepes.
Okay.
Okay.
Crepes seem daunting.
They do. They're not daunting. They're easy. They're a thin pancake.
Yep.
So what you need to do is it's what you're using. So it's the pan you're using. So when we make the crepes, we won't be using this pan. We'll be using another pan that I have. But it's really easy. All you need is a cup of flour. This will make us to feed 4 people. So it'll make us 4 or 5 crepes.
Okay.
So a cup of flour. Then to that we are going to add 2 tablespoons of melted butter. And then we're just going to whisk that all around. A little bit of salt. So we're making savory crepes today, so I'm not putting any sugar in there. But if you were going to do them and stuff them with fruit or with whipped cream and stuff like that, I put a couple tablespoons of sugar into this.
Okay.
But today, because we're using mushrooms and chicken, we're not going to put any sugar in these crepes at all. All right, and then we're just going to add 2 eggs to the mixture after we put in the salt. And then to this, we're going to add half a cup of milk. And then half a cup of water. And then we're just going to mix this all together, whisk it all together until there's no lumps.
Okay.
So a lot of people would use their food processor or do this in the blender to make it really smooth, but you really don't have to. Use just a little bit of elbow grease works just as well too.
You can see it. Okay, so what's the difference between like a pancake, a crepe, or even a waffle, I guess, too?
All right. Well, it's a great question. So your waffle is the same as a pancake batter.
Yep.
It's just a little bit thicker.
Okay.
And then you thin it out to make pancakes.
Yep.
But crepes are just a little bit different. Almost the same ingredients. We're not putting baking powder in the crepe. Okay. So the leavening agent is the egg in here.
Okay.
Okay. So a lot of pancake recipes don't have egg. Some do, some don't. But they all have baking powder. Okay. With the crepe. And the batter is thinner as well. So batter for waffles are thick. It's a little bit thinner for pancakes, and then like super thin. So you'll notice how thin and runny it is right here. So that's ready now. And all I want to do now is I'm just going to put this off to the side, and I'm just going to let it sit just for a little bit. All right, well, let's get back to these mushrooms. So they've shrunk, and all the water's kind of cooked out on them. Mm-hmm. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add my spinach like this, little wilt. And then we'll cook these down just like that. So Junior Achievement, tell me a little bit about the history of Junior Achievement and how long has it been here in New Brunswick?
It's been here for a long time, about 40, just over 40 years. It's actually brought to our province by Casey Irving and Roland Frazee. So they recognized that the program was doing great things on the western coast of our country. So they wanted to bring it east and start preparing students for the workforce. And that's what we've been doing ever since.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. We've got great relationships, with both families, as well as all the organizations around the province. It's incredible the support that we have.
So we've got that right there, and I'm just going to add the chicken that we've had right here just to warm it back up because it's been in the fridge. And then just give it a couple tosses, and then that's pretty much it. This is our filling. Okay. So we're just going to leave that right like that, and I'm just going to move that off to the side. And then I'm just going to grab my crepe pan.
Okay.
So,
this is a special kind of pan?
Well, it's a non-stick pan. Okay. So that's what's really important is if you've got a nice seasoned cast iron pan or a crepe pan at home, but anything that is non-stick. Okay. So, and something that you're going to use for just a specific purpose. So, when those pans, they get scratched up by the spoons and stuff, scraping, or you fry the chicken too much and it sticks to the bottom. Mm-hmm. So they're not quite ready, so I always keep, and again, I'm a chef, so I have a crepe pan at home, and I keep it just for crepes and just for fried eggs, and it's a special pan. Yeah. You don't have to do that at home. All you have to do is just make sure that you've got a pan that's been taken care of, and then we put a little bit of oil in there to begin with, and then all I'm going to do is we're going to grab a small amount, so a 1/4 cup or so of your crepe batter.
That just doesn't seem like a lot.
No, it doesn't, does it? And then all we're going to do now is just, we'll turn that up high, and the pan's a little small, so we're just going to put a little bit more in there. Okay. But basically all you want to do is you just want to cover the bottom of your frying pan.
Yeah, oh, you can see it cooking up there.
Cooking up just like that, just like that. And then we're just going to leave it for a minute, and then I'm going to grab my spatula right here. And then it takes a couple minutes right there, and you're going to see how it's starting to dry just like a pancake.
Yeah.
And then all we're going to do now is we're just going to see.
The fun part.
The fun part is just kind of work your spatula to make sure that there's nothing sticking. And now we notice and see with this pan how easy it is now to have that like that. So we're just going to leave it like that. And with a crepe, other than a pancake, is you want to cook it almost 3/4 of the way through. See how it's starting to dry up like that?
Yeah.
But the idea is you don't want too much color on it. You want a little bit of color, but you don't want it to be brown like a pancake.
Okay.
And that's more aesthetic.
Right.
I mean, if you get it brown, then that's okay. So now we're about 3/4.
Yeah.
And now we're just going to give her guts, though, and flip it up, just like that. And I mean, you can use a spatula to flip it.
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll just grab my plate right here. And again, on this side, because it's almost cooked, we're pretty much done. So we're just going to go like that.
Easy.
Just like that. And then we've got some oil right like that. So I'm going to get you to try. Now I'm going to put a little bit here. Now I'm going to get you to pick it up and then just kind of swirl it around the pan and make sure it all gets...
Just working it around, right?
Exactly. You want to go a little bit quicker because you don't want it to set. Exactly.
Right. Okay.
And then you may not get a perfectly round one to start off with.
I don't think I'm going to.
But that's okay. Now let's put it back on the heat.
Okay.
All right. And we'll grab our spatula.
Yeah.
See how it's starting to...
Around the edge.
Just roll it around the edge and just make sure that it's starting to slide. And then wiggle the pan a little bit. It's almost there. So yeah, just keep on. There you go. You've got it to release. Nice.
Okay.
There we go. Now the idea is it's just a flick.
Okay, like this.
Yep.
Oh,
almost,
close.
almost. No
so
big deal.
Close.
That's okay. We can fix that.
That was pretty close.
That was pretty close. And there you go.
Okay. That's not as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Not at all. You could probably get 2 or 3 crepes in before you have to think about greasing the pan again.
Okay. Just so it'll slide around there.
Just so it'll slide around because it may stick.
Okay.
A non-stick pan won't stick, but it may not release like you want to. So how we had it sliding earlier.
So, and what can you use to kind of re-grease that?
It depends on what you're doing. So I always like to use butter because butter is natural and it's delicious. But I mean, if you have olive oil, if you've got margarine, whatever you want to use, it works.
You see it's going. Yeah.
It works great. If you're going sweet, then I would suggest butter.
Okay.
If you're going savory, then olive oil works because olive oil has that flavor. So you don't want to kind of have like an olivey flavor in and amongst your fruit crepe, right?
Yep.
And there we go.
Just like that.
Just like that. We'll stuff some crepes and make some hollandaise right after these few messages. Welcome back to Easy Eats. Again, Chef Yves down in the Greener Villages Learning Kitchen with Haley Bungay from Junior Achievement. So Haley, we've got our filling, we've got the crepes made.
Yes.
So we're going to stuff them.
Okay.
And then once they're stuffed, I'm going to get you to make a hollandaise sauce.
Okay.
So hollandaise sounds a little bit scary, and it can be.
Yeah.
But I've got a recipe here that's really easy, and it's fridge stable. So usually hollandaises are really delicate, and they only have like a 2-hour shelf life if you're making them from scratch at the restaurant or whatever.
Yep.
But this is a really nice one. It's a fail-safe one.
Perfect.
And and you can just put it in your fridge and use it as you need it. It lasts about 3 or 4 days.
Perfect.
But it won't last that long. All right, so we'll just grab our crepes, just like this. And then we'll just start adding our things. So a couple of tenders, each crepe.
Smells unreal.
It smells nice, yeah. We've got to invent that smell-o-vision
Yeah.
for sure. And then just a few, and we don't want to overstuff our crepes, and I think that's where a lot of people get into trouble with anything that they wrap, is they want to make sure that everyone's getting their money's worth. You can always have 2 or 3 crepes.
Right.
Right, you don't have to have just the one, right? So a little goes a long way, just like that. And then we're just going to add a little bit of cheese to them. Again, we're doing that because we have it. And then we're just going to just wrap them up, just like that.
Just a simple roll.
Just a simple roll.
Okay.
And then once they're rolled like this, you can serve them 2 or 3 at a time.
Yep.
We made 3, so we may as well serve the 3, just like that. And then we need a sauce for them.
Okay.
So I'm going to get you to make that for me.
Okay.
So what we have here today is we've got 3 egg yolks.
Yes.
So we're going to add those egg yolks to the food processor. Just like that. You want to just grab your spatula and scrape as much of it in there. So hollandaise is just an egg and butter sauce. It's super decadent, and it's really, really enjoyable. And people are going to say, you're using raw egg, how come? But the butter's a little bit warm, and when you emulsify it, well then it will, and then we're using vinegar as well, so it'll kill any kind of bacteria that we're doing.
Yep.
That's 2 tablespoons of lemon juice that we're just going to add to that. And then we have a little bit of Dijon mustard.
Ooh.
So we're going to add that Dijon to that as well. So it's really simple. You just put it in your food processor, just like this. This won't work if you're just using a hand whisk. You need that emulsification from the machine. And then we're going to put a couple dabs of hot sauce. So you can use cayenne pepper or hot sauce if you want.
Yep.
We've got our house hot sauce here that I made a couple weeks ago. Oop, that's perfect.
That's a lot.
It is. All right, so what we're going to do now is you're going to put the top back on it.
Okay.
No, the other way, right
other
here.
way.
Just like this, and then we're just going to snap it into place. And then we'll buzz that for about 4 or 5 seconds there until everything is all mixed together.
There we go.
So usually most food processors have a little spout here that you just kind of pour stuff in.
Yep.
This one doesn't, so what we're going to do is usually we'll add our butter in a slow, steady stream to create emulsion.
Yep.
With this one we can't, so we're going to add it into 4s. So,
so just
put a
bit?
quarter of the butter in there now. Okay, perfect. And then we'll pop this back on, and then we will emulsify it some more.
Okay. Another
another 10 seconds or so. Perfect, and then let's add a little bit more. Like I said, into 4s. And then when it's done, you just put it in the fridge. You can serve it, use it to serve right away. It'll go great on your eggs Benedict or on your crepes.
Okay. There we go. Getting better at that.
You are, yeah, absolutely. And then the last one we're just going to let go for 30 seconds or so. That way we can really get the emulsion. So you're seeing it's starting to get thick and it's emulsifying up really, really nice.
Okay, the last bit.
The last bit we're just going to let go until it kind of changes color. It'll go from a darker yellow like this to kind of like a pale pastel yellow. And once it's that color, then we know we've got it where we want it.
Okay.
See how it's slowly starting to change?
Yeah. Interesting.
And there we go. Perfect. Now we'll just grab our crepes. A little bit of hollandaise right on top. So, Junior Achievement, how do you get more information about it?
Well, you can visit the website, janewbrunswick.ca, if you want to learn more about the organization. If you want to dive right into the programs, you can go to jacampus.org.
Okay.
And sign up for free. Again, nobody pays to participate in our program. They're completely free. So you can do that as well, or you can give me a call.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah.
So our crepes are done.
Awesome.
That hollandaise looks really, really nice. Tastes a little bit on the end of my finger, and it is fantastic. So dig in. Let me know what you think.
Very good.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for making us aware or telling us a little bit more about Junior Achievement.
Well, thank you very much for having us. We appreciate it.